got one of Dix's eggs as a little snack today, and some sea salt in a little foil packet. And today I am at a place in Derbyshire called Hopton Quarry, and it's an old disused quarry, but it is a hot spot for wildflowers and especially orchids, which is what we're searching for today. In particular, the very rare burnt tip orchid, which is known to grow on this site. Just going to finish off my lunch while Chris is having a little walk already. He's very eager to get going orchid hunting. But yeah, we'll have a little stroll around and see what wildflowers we can find. It is the 19th of May today, I believe. So the month has gone so quick. We're almost in June, which seems mad. But prime time for orchids. So I'm excited for today. I'm running because Chris just shouted me and said that he's found a type of morel, he said. I don't know what that means, but I'm coming to see. What you found, babe?
I think.
I'm coming to see. Oh, that's a helvella. That's a, you know, elf cups.
Oh, is it not? I thought it was
Yeah,
that
like,
one.
not elf cups. Elven saddles. It's the black version.
Sick, I've never seen them.
Yeah, it's cool.
Never seen them. It's just not a type of morel.
No, it's cool though. Yeah, it's a helvella. I can't remember
Shall I blow it?
Yeah. I can't remember the epithet, the second part of the name, but it's a helvella. And it's yeah, the black or the grey elfin saddle.
Oh, I've never seen that in my life.
So this is the elfin saddle. There's loads of them down here. It's usually one that you find in, well, we normally, yeah, elfin saddles are normally found in the autumn time, but yeah, it can pop up earlier. It's pretty cool. It's ascomycete, so it's a spore shooter. It shoots its spores out rather than dropping them from the cap. There you go. Doesn't it smell good? It smells mushroomy, but with like a little bit of peppery spice as well.
So warm.
Just next to it is lady's mantle. This is really beautiful because I just love how the leaves are hygrophobic, and you can see how the beads just kind of roll off the leaves.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to figure out which orchid this is because I'm trying to look at the central lobe of the petal. So on the southern marsh orchid, the central lobe has got like a little dip, nipple, but on the northern marsh orchid it's a little bit more rounded. So I'm thinking this might be the southern marsh orchid, but I'm not 100% sure. Look at all the meadow trees.
Where?
All of them are on the path. Oh, is it nice? Yeah.
Come on.
So Chris and I are attempting to go around the back of this quarry because we had a fair look, and we only come across a couple of what I think were southern marsh orchids. Lots and lots of really cool plants, and even a couple of cool mushrooms too, but we didn't manage to find what we're looking for. So we've come up. You scared me? So yeah, we've come to the back of this quarry now, and we're going to try a different route in to see. Route? No, it's not. It's route. We're going on the route. Yeah, so we're going to give it a go and we'll update you if we find anything. So it looks like we are walking up a little country lane that's full of cow parsley, but take a closer look. Well, in fact, you don't even, what have you found? Little caterpillar. I don't know caterpillars. Do you know what that one is? If anybody knows, you can tell me in the comments. Why did you make me look at that? Chris! Sorry, I'll give that horse some privacy. Oh look, these lots of sheep here. Anyway, as I was saying for the third time, this here looks like cow parsley, doesn't it? But can you see or can you notice how frothy the flowers look compared to usual? This is a plant called Sweet Cicely and it smells like licorice. It's so delicious. But look how fluffy these flowers are compared to the quite sparse umbels of the cow parsley. And an identifying feature for this over cow parsley is that the leaves actually have these little silvery markings on it, but not all the leaves and not all the plants. So you can see how none of these have got the silvery markings. It tends to be when they are a little bit younger, the basal leaves tend to have slightly more markings on than the older leaves, but this makes these really incredible seeds as well that can be used in baking. But because this has got a lovely licorice flavour, all parts of this are edible. The stems are really nice chopped up and candied, the leaves can be made into syrups and the flowers can be added as decoration, and it's a very, very lovely plant. But you do obviously need to be careful that you're correctly identifying this, because it is in the umbellifer or the carrot family, which if you watch many of my videos you'll know is quite a difficult family to learn, and it does contain some toxic members. Chris walks so far ahead of me. Don't know if you noticed, I'm always out of breath in the videos where I'm with Chris, because his legs are like 6 feet long, so he can just take these massive strides and get really far, whereas I'm 5'1" and take little slow steps, and I can never keep up with him. I'm always either chasing behind him, or I've lost him, or I'm out of breath. But he's well gone, I can't even see him now, so I can just take it easy and chill. And oh my gosh, the scent of these. This is Rosa rugosa, or the beach rose, also known as the Japanese rose. And this is actually a Schedule 9 invasive plant in the UK, but it does smell delightful. And it's a massive problem in coastal areas, but it doesn't seem to cause too much problem when we're quite far away from the sea. The pollinators do indeed love it, and I love it too. It's absolutely beautiful, heady scent. Hello. You look very strong, you little lambs. Are you lovely? Don't know if you can hear the skylarks in the distance. Check out these views. The rolling hills of Derbyshire. So we're watching a video from the orchid hunter.
That looks a bit different to our path.
Yeah, so we're trying to find this path.
I think it's over there. Around there somewhere.
That's quite a trek.
So there's gorse. So we have to look for gorse.
I can't see any in the distance.
Yeah, so if we go up here, I think we'll find.
Okay. So I've just found the Orchid Hunter's channel very recently. I think we found it this week or last week maybe. But he travels around the country looking for orchids, and he often visits Derbyshire. And so we have decided today to try and find one of the rare orchids that he found in one of his videos, which was at this place, Hopton Quarry. But we did have a good look around the bottom side, and we just found a couple of southern marsh orchids. So we've taken a different route over to see if we can find any of the elusive burnt tip orchids. Look at that view. These are the mountain pansy. How pretty and cute, these little wild pansies. Lots of bluebells here. Wonder if this was once covered with trees. Lots of Caminarium angustifolium or rosebay willow herb, fireweed. Look at these beautiful hawthorns. I was saying to Chris earlier that as much as I love the forest, these abandoned spaces like old quarries or old coal mines, they're some of my favourite places to explore because they just have such a great diversity of different types of plants. And obviously in the woodlands and forests you get your set plants depending on what kind of woodlands it is. But it could be so different in mines and quarries because of what they've dug up and the different kind of soils from deep down. So when they dig up the soils and deposit it, it just creates a really great place for wildflowers because it has very nutrient poor and draining soils. And that's why they absolutely love these places that are more in kind of like the White Peaks, the calcareous kind of limestone areas, rather than the more acidic and nutrient-rich areas of the Dark Peaks where me and Chris live. Look how unusual it is to see this sea of bluebells in the open, sunny space like this. And it's telling me that this area was once quite wooded because bluebells thrive in that kind of half shade, half light. And for a patch to have gotten this big, I can't imagine that they thrived in the pure sunlight. So I imagine that there was once a woodland here. We're in quite a wooded part here. We just found this tway blade. This is the egg-leafed tway blade, or the common tway blade. It's a member of the orchid family, so hopefully we're on the right track. Yep.
Strawberries, massive strawberries.
Wow, I can't wait for strawberry season. Check out this for a view. We're at the same height as those wind turbines over there. God, it is red hot here today. Some of these places really capture the sun. I think just because we've got all of these rocks around us, I feel like they must hold the heat because it just feels like it's radiating off here. What have we got down here? Loads of maidenhair spleenwort, loads of it. Wow, all the maidenhair spleenwort everywhere.
This white flower?
No, this fern.
Oh, right. I used to like some mint over there.
Rowan flowers have got an incredible almond scent and they make really lovely desserts and syrups or even just dehydrated powders. There's another patch of these tway blades. You see the little flower up here. They look almost like broadleaf plantain leaves, but they don't have any hairs. They're completely glabrous or smooth. Got big deep veins, and they feel quite robust. Check out this patch. These have got much longer flowers. Bloody love orchids. Right, we have had a very, very, very good look, and we haven't found a single burnt tip orchid, which is a little bit sad, because when you see a video and you follow the right location, it kind of gets your hopes up, doesn't it? But as is life and as is the hunt, it's never a guarantee. So it could be that we're just in the wrong location, could be that they're not blooming quite yet. But yeah, we are going to come back on Saturday for another good look, I think, because it is the time of year for them. So we really want to see them this year. We've never met the burnt tip orchid, and as you'll know, Chris and I absolutely love our orchids. So fingers crossed for next time.